Good evening, and let me start by saying congratulations to all the 2020 Kendrick Foundation Scholars. While this is certainly a special event, it's made even more special by the fact that you, your colleagues, and your family are able to gather together in the same place after the season of relative isolation we just went through. I'm sure you all found creative ways to spend your time while social distancing. Some of you may have picked up a new skill such as cooking, playing a musical instrument, or underwater basket weaving. Others may have chosen to improve themselves through new diets, exercise routines, or Netflix marathons. As I was taken off rotation, I chose to keep my mind sharp through research. I ran experiments such as, how long can a man go without shaving? And how long can a man go without bathing? How many bags of chips can I eat in one sitting? You get the idea. However you chose to spend your time, I hope you look back on these last few unprecedented months and find that you are all more resilient now than you ever thought you could be. I say this because, by the nature of your chosen profession, resilience is a quality you all must have. Before I get into the importance of resilience, I first want to speak to what a blessing the Kendrick Foundation has been to my family and I. When I started medical school 4 years ago, we chose to move to Morgan County both to be close to my wife's family and take advantage of small town living. At that time, we didn't realize just how supportive the community would be of our family and my training. During our first year, we found friends and mentors in our church at Life Point Community Church in Mooresville, at St. Thomas More Free Clinic and Churches in Mission where we volunteered, and through the Kendrick Foundation, where we got to meet medical professionals who've gone before us and future medical professionals that we would serve alongside. I also must admit that the financial scholarship provided by the foundation helped us a lot, as we had to drain a lot of our savings my first year of medical school in order to pay for what federal loans wouldn't. Without this scholarship, I would have had to seek a job during medical school, which would have been a huge burden on my studies and my family. I may have even had to resort to a ramen noodle diet, which I don't think my body could survive after 4 years of college. As always, I want to say thanks again to the Foundation and all of those on it who work tirelessly to support future medical professionals in Morgan County. Your work made success possible for me, as I'm sure it makes success possible for many of the people seated here today. Now on to the task at hand, to impart the little wisdom I've gained mostly from others during training. I hear the camera adds 10 hours, so I apologize in advance if this is longer than expected. When I speak of resilience, I realize it's a broad topic, and I'm mostly focusing on burnout prevention in this case. You see, medical training is a tough road. Not only is it an academically rigorous field, but you also have to see the hardships people face, both health and social situations, on a daily basis. As empathetic people, this can take a toll on us all if we aren't careful to take care of our wellness and the wellness of our colleagues around us. So first, I want you to remember your life before medical training and before Corona hit. What kinds of things did you like to do? What excited you? What made you feel good? What made you feel like you? For me, I loved spending time with my friends at church. I loved seeing new places, running, reading, bus tables, and spending time in the Bible. Unfortunately, when I started medical school, I decided that I didn't have time for these things, and instead, I thought I had to spend all of my time studying. So outside of church and eating, I was studying. And I was able to do this for about a year, but then burnout hit. Now I couldn't focus on the things I love, and I couldn't even focus on my studies. I had little motivation to do more than the bare minimum, and my grades started to show it. I'd lost the passion that had drawn me into the medical field in the first place. Thankfully, my school was very focused on wellness, and during a workshop, I realized that to be academically healthy, I needed to focus on my social, emotional, physical, and spiritual health as well. Please remember that you are a human being, and your academic studies are not your identity. They're only a part of it. Be careful to tend to your whole self. An extra hour of studying won't help your grades much at all. An extra hour of doing what you love or reflecting on why you're passionate about medicine could very well help your grades and will certainly help you maintain the endurance needed to study and practice in the medical field. Secondly, I want you to think about your successes growing up. What are your greatest memories of overcoming challenges? They could be academic, but they could also be athletic, relational, or any other challenges you faced. For me, one challenge that sticks out in my mind is trying out for basketball. When you have the physique of a string bean, everyone, stranger or not, tends to ask you if you play basketball. Imagine my embarrassment when I did not make the team in 7th grade. Thinking it was a fluke, I tried again in 8th grade and failed. It turns out being tall is not the only requirement for playing basketball. You have to actually know how to dribble, shoot, etc. When I made the team in high school, it's easy to think it was due to my natural talent. However, it was actually due to the countless hours my dad, brother, friends, and coaches spent playing with me and teaching me how to better play the game. Whatever challenges you faced, I'm sure you could think of at least someone who helped overcome it. Medical training is no different. You need to, if you haven't already, find a group of friends you can study with, vent with, and be challenged by. You also need to find mentors who have gone before you and will help you avoid pitfalls that may come up during medical training. I'm sure there are many in this room who would be happy to share their experience with you. No man or woman is an island. Everyone needs community, a support network who understands what you're going through and can be there for you when you need it most. Find your people and lean on them. Thirdly, I want you to take down your guard for a second. What are you struggling with right now? Feelings of inadequacy, whether that be in your training, relationships with friends and family, or a job. Loss of a family member, a friend, or even a patient you grew close to on rotation. A mistake you made that hurt someone else. I can tell you right now, I'm struggling with the anxiety of starting residency. I don't feel like I know enough or I'm smart enough to take care of patients on my own. When sharing this with my intern class, I found out that they have the same anxieties as me. Chances are, whatever you're struggling with, someone else in the room is struggling with the same thing. The problem, at least for us in the medical field, is that we don't share these struggles with others. We feel like we have to maintain an air of perfection that doesn't actually exist in order to keep the respect of our colleagues and our patients. In isolation, it's easy to think that you're the only one dealing with certain things and that to reveal your struggles would mean the end of respect you've gained. I promise you, this is not the case, and it certainly isn't healthy. There's been a campaign in recent years called #Save400. It was even mentioned on one of the episodes of Chicago Med. 400 is the number of physicians each year who take their lives. It's a sobering number, especially when you realize that most of their colleagues had no idea they were struggling. They always talk about how joyful the physician was and how they gave no hint of depression or anxiety. As medical professionals, we're really good at hiding our feelings because it's part of how we maintain our relationships with patients. I want to challenge you to do the hard thing and be vulnerable with your people, especially when you're struggling. Don't try to be Superman. 9 times out of 10, your colleagues will understand and will respect you more. 8 times out of 10, they'll admit they've been struggling with the same thing. Now that we've established my interest in public transit, my lack of athletic talent, and my feelings of inadequacy, I'd like to tell you about what the next chapter of life holds for me and my family. Since the Kendrick dinner last year, a lot has happened. My wife and I welcomed our son, Micah, into the world. I virtually graduated with my amazing classmates from Marian University College of Osteopathic Medicine. Go Knights. I'm about to start residency at Memorial Hospital in South Bend, Indiana, with the best co-interns anyone could ask for. Through all of this transition, though, I'm reminded about what will be important for these next few years and the rest of my career. I need to prioritize all aspects of my health during medical practice, which means we've already started joining gyms, getting plugged into a church family, and building in time to spend with each other and friends. I've already started finding my people who I can call when I need help or just need to talk about how I'm sick of Subway after a week of nights. And I need to be intentional about opening up with my peers about my struggles as they come up. I pray that you'll go and do likewise, and I hope you'll find this challenging career in medicine as rewarding as I have. Since I couldn't be here in person, I'm on night this week, enjoying all the Subway I could ever want. I wanted to put in my email so you could contact me with any questions you may have or things you wanted to talk about. Thank you again for listening, and congratulations on your accomplishments.